Hi guys, Deepak here again. So today we are going to talk about an interesting topic. So have you observed that while at your workplace you have sometimes disagreements or debates with your colleagues as well as your team members or maybe your superiors or junior team members as well. Um, and it might so happen that the same might also be happening in your family. You might be uh, having discussions or debates or some quarrels, fights with your spouse, your better half, or your father, mother, sister, or your friends also. So many a times what happens is we when we are in you when we are facing such instances, troubled moments, so that time what happens is we do not put ourselves in their shoes. Okay, so probably you are also right and probably they are also right as per their own perspectives. But the problem is we have to meet somewhere, we guys, and we have to peacefully coexist as well as try to understand why the that person is coming up like that and what is the root cause. So in software terminology, there is a very important concept which is being used that whenever there is an issue, what we like a production issue or any issue, then the first thing that the management will ask you to do is, or you are required to do as a developer is, find the RCA, root cause analysis. Okay, and to do root cause analysis, the first and foremost and the most important step is introspection. Okay, so this introspection can be done in personal life as well as professional life. When done over the in the professional life, so for example, let's take the case of a software bug which has come. So what we'll do is we'll try to go over the logs, we'll try to reproduce, we'll see what all settings were there, and we will look at all the matrices and all the evidences we'll try together, and then try to come up with some hypothesis that this is the reason why this might so we'll basically build a theory as to because of this particular reason this incident happened, and then we will take some so the next step is we will take some actions so that we this thing does not happen again or we minimize the chances. Okay, similarly when we are having these discussions, heated debates, I'll say, or sometimes we get into arguments even in the professional or personal world. So that time one thing which could really help is before we get too carried away in the flow, it's time to take a pause. Okay, and just tell them, okay, let's connect back, and we will think over this and I'll see what best I could do, something like that. So don't try to get involved in the moment, take a break and then try to introspect. So I'm not saying that always it's our fault. It might be that there are few things wrong at the other person's end, or there is some flaw in the process itself, the way that things are just set up. But many a times uh, there might be mistakes at our end as well, or even if there are flaws in the process which are causing these debates and discussions, so we need to do the root cause analysis. And to do the root cause analysis, it's important that you take a time, you take a pause, and then you go back and then you do an introspection. Okay, so now when we do introspection, we'll look at how did we reach this stage, how did things spiral so much, and then we will try to trace back. So in software development there is another interesting term which is called a stack trace. Okay, so similarly when you are involved in such kind of things, then try to do a stack trace. Try to go deeper, one layer down, one layer down, one frame down, and try to identify what was that igniting point or that trigger point which actually caused this. Now, similarly, in personal life also, I believe that if we have to grow, okay, or even if we have to resolve some conflicts with our loved ones, family and friends, then it's very important that we do introspect. Now, if you ask me that what would be the one life-changing advice that a techie can get from me, I'll say that start introspecting. And the very easy way to start introspection is just take out a notebook or a journal and just write down how your day was, what all things happened, and how you are feeling today, what all emotions you went by, and also what are your daily plans, what you achieved last day, last week, last month, last year, and what are your plans for this day, this week, this month, what are your goals. Okay, so when we take a notebook or a journal and we start writing down, we pen down our thoughts, we pen down our plans, that is when the real magic happens. Okay, I am telling you, this is also a very great stress buster. Many a times there are so many things we can't think straight. Means we are preoccupied with so many thoughts, and we are sometimes so furious, so angry, or sometimes so obsessive, so obsessed with some spiraling thoughts that we think that there is no way out, and sometimes we do crazy things in those moments. So, the best thing is keep a mini diary or a mini pocket book or a mini journal in those moments, and try to take a pause, try to write down what is triggering you, what is in that particular moment you are feeling. Okay. Similarly, if you want to like grow in your career, okay, so you have some goals. So what you do is, if you really have to grow, then instead of management giving you goals or your leads giving you goals, set your own goals first, your professional goals first. Okay, and write it down every day and try to track those. So sometimes we all have seen that the deadlines, there are like unrealistic deadlines that we talk about in our software world. So many a times the deadlines are not really that unrealistic, but the plan is not realistic. Okay, so if we could plan well, then maybe we could execute better. Maybe we could make things to work on time or even well before time. Okay, so if you fail to plan, there is a saying, then you plan to fail. As simple as that. So now when you take out that journal, that notebook, and you start writing down the action plans. So if you are given, say suppose a Jira story, okay, to begin with, then what you will do is you will try to create some smaller items, and every day you will every few hours or so you will figure out, okay, how much of this portion is done. So first you have a bigger story, you break it down into smaller subtasks, take your time, write it down, and make them as a smart goals or smart task. Okay, so look up the definition of smart if you don't know, okay, what I'm talking about. And then what you do is, then you track your progress, how you are doing. And whenever you think there are new unknowns, okay, so many a times what will happen is there will be new things in the equation which are coming up only during the actual development or those times. So you note those things down as well as new tasks or new findings, like a scope creep, something like that, or scope expansion. And then what you do is, then you also put those items into the Jira story, so that even the management is aware that, okay, so this was a new finding and it was not known beforehand, and that's why probably this deliverable is not meeting time. And then they will be in a supportive portion, sorry, in a supportive fashion, they will try to allow some slippages to happen. So they also need to justify why that particular slippage happened. And anyways, we are not bothered about what they think or so. But the main important thing here is that when you start writing down your thoughts, okay, when you start writing down your goals, your plans in a notebook, in a journal, that is when you will uh, see the real magic happening. And make it like a religious habit. Do it every single day. Every morning you get up, and before you go to the bed every night you have to do it, and in between also, as and when you want to track something, some goal or some particular task, then you have to take help of that particular notebook. So try doing this for 1 month and let me know, do you see any visible changes in your routine and your life, your personal and professional life. Let me know what you think about this video. Thanks for your love.